All right, welcome back to the Daily Plus Live here on this Friday afternoon as we continue our coverage of the guilty verdict in James Crumbley's involuntary manslaughter case. It came down last night at about 7:30, and there's just been a lot of conversation, I think, and processing after that about what were the key moments and the pivotal things that the jury had to decide on. And so for that conversation, I wanted to bring in Cassidy John Cox, of course, who's been writing and reporting for us on clickondetroit.com. Cassidy, I'm so glad to have you here like the day after so we can talk. And we've been talking about this all along. I mean, I think the fact that once the verdict has come in, I wanted to look back at what were the moments, I think, that made a difference. And you and I were kind of going over that would be the day of the shooting and James Crumbley's timeline on that.
Yeah, correct. So one of the most pivotal moments to me actually happened early on in the trial when the prosecutors really zeroed in on what James Crumbley did the day of the shooting, where he did and did not go that day, specifically after attending that meeting with the counselor and with his son and with his wife. So James Crumbley went and did DoorDash. He did 4 DoorDash deliveries. That's what he was doing as a job at the time, after attending that meeting with his son and with the counselor, which is what really brought attention to the prosecutors.
Yeah, and I think also we're talking about they were zeroing in on what the parents had in their hands as well,
right? And
making the implication that he was hanging on to the documents of all the mental health resources that the counselor had given them there. One thing that also stuck out to me during the testimony was the prior access to weapons in the Crumbley home. We had talked about that there were 3 guns in the home by November 30th of 2021. And you're seeing this video. This really stood out to me. This was video that the shooter took of himself loading a .22 Cal-Tec that James Crumbley owned in the home. And he sent it to a friend with this text saying, "My dad left it out and I thought, why not?"
Yeah, we did see that the shooter sent some videos to his friends of him accessing the guns, which brought concern that maybe he did have the ability to access the guns in the home even before the shooting. I mean, that video is not of the murder weapon, but it's of one of the other 2 guns that were in the home that were in a case with the gun code, or with the lot code of 000, the manufacturer code. So the prosecutor said essentially the shooter had access to these guns in the home, even though the parents said they were locked up and stored.
Yeah, and the fact that he loaded that, it was live ammo right there.
Right,
and he's there, and you can see actually his cat is laying on the table right next to him there.
Yeah.
Cassidy, another thing, so much questions surrounded the gun that was the murder weapon at Oxford High School. Is that 9mm that was bought 4 days before the shooting, and we saw the shooter on Instagram talking about, "Look, this is my new beauty, this is my gift."
Yep.
It's like, was that gun locked? And this was really the testimony of, we don't think it was.
Yeah, the prosecutors, especially during her closing arguments, Prosecutor Karen McDonald focused on how they don't think that gun was locked with this cable lock that was provided when the father purchased the gun from the gun store. Karen McDonald, she actually went through and demonstrated for the jury in her closing argument how to insert a cable lock, and it was quick. And she said this only takes 10 seconds. And if it's just a matter of 10 seconds, if the family had locked that gun with the cable lock, it could be the difference between the shooting happening and the shooting not happening. But the lock was actually found in this bag in a different case, looking as it did essentially when it was purchased. So they said they don't think that it was used at all.
Yeah, I mean, the ATF agent Brett Brandon said, "Look, if you had taken that cable lock in and out of that bag several times, you would have seen more wear and tear on the bag." And that's what made them deduce that, look, that weapon was not locked. Even if he hid it, and there were other ways that you could have stored a weapon, it was still not secured by a lock that could just take seconds. Cassidy, what did you make of, I think going into the trial, you and I talked so much about how it would be different from Jennifer's and maybe James's demeanor and how the defense could paint him as a more sympathetic figure than Jennifer came across as. And we did see a little bit of James's cooperative demeanor in this new video.
Yeah, definitely. We saw him in the back seat of a police car, and he was telling the police officer who was getting ready to search his home after the shooting, "Hey, do whatever you need to do. I'm happy to help." Essentially those were his words, and he was willing to tell them where the guns were in the home. And even our defense experts told us that if they were the ones leading this case for James Crumbley, they would have tried to paint him as a more sympathetic figure. And we even see that in this video when he was visiting the shooter at the substation. He was yelling, I love you," to his son. And so we thought that these were potentially chances that could have painted James Crumbley as a more sympathetic figure to the jury, but ultimately it didn't end that way.
Yeah. All right. Well, Cassidy, thanks so much for all your work. And Cassidy's got a great comprehensive article on clickondetroit.com right now that really just takes a step through the entire trial. So if you've been following along with us on Local 4 Plus, like I know many of you have, and you kind of want to get that last comprehensive look,
yeah,
Cassidy's got it for you right there on Click On. All right. Thanks so much, Cassidy. Have a good weekend. I'll see you on Monday, okay? All righty. So since it's Friday, you know, we want to make sure that you know what the weather is going to be like for the weekend. So stay with me. We're going to check in with Ron Hilliard in just a moment.